Here in the Yarra Valley, Forever Friends is a place of care, healing and second chances. It's run entirely by volunteers, but caring for so many animals comes with a massive power requirement. That's why they've teamed up with some incredible partners to cut those energy costs, ease the pressure, and support the people doing truly inspiring work.
Now, Roche, it's nice to be here together, mate. When we saw each other last, I went off to beautiful Adelaide while you had to go overseas. How was China?
China was absolutely incredible. I mean, aside from the beautiful food, the wonderful scenery, we saw some incredible renewable energy technology being manufactured, had an amazing time.
The reality is that you have to go to such a powerhouse like China to be able to make all of this technology. We, of course, have great sunshine to be able to utilise it, and we've driven through some amazing countryside to come to this fantastic location.
What's incredible about this facility, some of the amazing technology I saw being manufactured in China is right here. AIKO solar panels on the roof, GoodWe inverters and batteries, and an incredible team that's put it all together with the solar service guys. It's going to be a really epic day.
Well, I'm excited to check it all out, mate, to see everything, you know, in one place, really changing how this operation runs. And I think it's appropriate for Forever Friends to be working with Forever Friends, mate. I can't wait to check it out.
Absolutely, we're going to have a great time. Let's go and check it out.
Saskia, thanks so much for having us in this amazing location. I've got to start off with this shirt, Save a Life and Find a Friend. It sounds perfect. Tell us about what you've done here.
I started Forever Friends about 15 years ago, and I had a different career at the time. I was an editor, Penguin Books, which I loved, but I started to learn more and more about what was happening to our pets in the pound and shelter system, just losing their lives for no reason, and decided I wanted to give up that life and do what I could for the animals in need. And 15 years later, here we are.
How do you operate it? How do you run this space?
We're lucky enough to have 2 employees, but we have 2,000 volunteers across Victoria, so we're 99.9% volunteer run, including me. So we just fly by the seat of our pants. We don't get government funding, we don't get council funding, we just rely on the community to be generous and to support our work.
You've got this space to run though, and I can see the setup, plus your energy bills. I can only imagine running this space. It obviously comes at a cost as well.
Huge cost, yeah. So obviously energy bills were a big worry. I think we were spending about $15,000 a year to run kennels, cattery, stables, vet clinic, house. So that was really doing its damage.
And you're so isolated as well. I mean, did you ever suffer from any blackouts or impacts on the climate change?
All the time. Blackouts were just like, here's another one. And with all the forest in the area as well, as soon as there's a big wind, there'll be a tree down somewhere. So down come the power lines. And running a vet clinic is actually incredibly dangerous because they could be in the middle of surgery and have a blackout. So it was really something we just couldn't afford to risk.
Well, we heard a really heartwarming story that a team of amazing people and organisations from around the world came together to collaborate and install an incredible solar power system. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that happened?
Oh, absolutely. Well, every good thing that happens here comes from a volunteer. And one of our volunteers who works in the industry, the wonderful Lorraine, she could see the need, but she didn't actually say to me, what can we do? She saw a need and she went off and made inquiries. She just made it happen and just let us know, this is going to happen, we're going to do this for you. So it was just like the biggest surprise.
What a terrible place for us to all have to spend the afternoon. Lorraine, you are fortunate enough to be one of the volunteers at this beautiful space Forever Friends. How did that come about?
I actually know quite a few remarkable human beings that actually volunteer for this organisation. And you know, when you talk to volunteers, it's always about pain point, high operational costs, lack of funding. With being in the solar industry, it became like a no-brainer for me in the sense that, like, you know, we can give back. We can give them a system, we can look after the system. From then on, it was about finding the right partners, you know, who has that alignment in values, who believes in what Solar Service Guys believes in, and, you know, GoodWe and AIKO were basically an obvious choice for us.
So Lynn, over to you first.
We donated a 17 kilowatt system for this site. Actually, this is advice from Lorraine. It started with, I think, a much smaller size of a system, but after she actually visit the site and see maybe the energy needs, as she mentioned, is much higher. And she actually discussed with me if it's okay for AIKO to sponsor a bigger one. So yes, at the end, we managed to get to the 17 kilowatts.
Well, then I saw your panels being manufactured in China and the process was absolutely incredible. But I also saw GoodWe manufacturing batteries, BIPV products, some incredible technology. John, what had you get involved in this project?
Well, this is the same team that collaborated on the Forever Reef project up in Port Douglas in North Queensland. We've always kept in touch. That's a great thing about this industry. When a project like this comes along, and there are like-minded individuals and like-minded brands, we collaborate, and yeah, we couldn't be happier to support this great project.
John, I'm interested on the size of the battery. So I've got 11 kilowatts on my own house. This is almost a medical facility because they're doing operations. There's a lot of needs here because of the size of the space. How do you deal with that from a battery point of view?
Everything is tailored to the project, the size of the panels, the size of the property, their energy consumption. So the solar service guys handled all that. They reviewed what the needs were, and we sized up a 20 kilowatt hour battery, but we're now looking at doubling that as well. So just seeing the amount of work that they do, for instance, today they've got 30 operations in their veterinary clinic. It's not only about reducing their energy bills, it's about giving them that blackout protection. We're not exactly in the middle of the city here, and only a few days ago they were very close to some bushfire areas as well. So protecting their wildlife, protecting their property and keeping that reliable energy source going is paramount. So we're only too happy to help.
Of course, Lorraine, the fact is that we're here for a really beautiful feel-good story with all of you contributing your time, and you also volunteer here in this amazing location, but you are creating solutions for clients every day in their homes and their businesses. When you looked at this site, it's quite unique. How did you approach this to realise what you needed from each of the team?
So I think for us, with so many vulnerable animals and volunteers coming in and out, so much foot traffic, the first approach that we used was safety. So I think the value that Solar Service Guys brings is that safety element. So this system is not just, set and forget. We've installed it like goodbye, see you later. We're going to come back every year to give them a health check to see that it's all working with the support of GoodWe and AIKO, who share that belief. And with great products and great partnerships, that becomes like the holistic solution for a sanctuary like this.